important stuff is happening to crypto this week. And for anybody holding altcoins, you probably already know that Ethereum right now is one of the most interesting coins to watch because it seems to kind of set the course for the rest of the altcoins and it's not playing along. I mean, right now, Ethereum has topped out at $4,000 again for the fifth time in a row. Trading Lord said it's a quintuple top. While the president buys ETH DeFi, Ethereum ETF inflows pick up, ETH shorts are at an all-time high. What are we talking about there? Well, if we're taking a look, right now the bets against Ethereum are actually at its highest point ever. CME Ether Cash settled leverage funds total over combined. It's just that we basically keep making ourselves all-time highs in terms of people that are saying ETH is going to go to zero, or maybe not zero, but at least they expect the Ethereum price to go down. Right now, we can definitely see that. And again, part of the reason why is because Ethereum just keeps topping out at 4,000 and people have realized it's an easy amount of money to make if you just keep saying it's going to go down and down and down for 4,000, because the last couple of times it was a very heavy corrective move as well the moment that it got to 4K. And again, currently looking at Ethereum, let's quickly see, is it above 4,000? No, it is not. So if again, you are just basically going all in on the shorts at 4,000, you could have made some juicy amount of gains. But over the next few months, it seems we'll leave these numbers in the dust. It's all just a short-term thing. Having said that, the week is going to be an interesting one, as we've also got ourselves the Federal Reserve interest rate meeting over on Wednesday. For me in Dubai here, it is 11 p.m. over on the Wednesday, but just calculate for yourself what time will be in your country. By the way, guys, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video, because why not? You've got nothing to lose, and I want to see if we could break another record. And now something that was quite interesting to me, even though it is not next week, no, it's actually in about 2 weeks from now, was Chad who shared this. What? CoinGecko is showing a single starting candle for RLUSD set to December 31st at 7 p.m. Why? I don't know. But there's some community notes. Some other people are stating it is not true. I'm not so sure exactly what is going on here. Quite peculiar though. But to get back to it, for XRP, the biggest thing that could happen, there's actually many things. It could be Trump getting elected, Gary Gensler leaving, which is happening about January 20th, if I'm not mistaken, RLUSD's release, the lawsuit being dropped. There's a lot of different things that could on its own be a pretty big push for the price. And so I keep telling people that I cannot make any guarantees, but right now, we're in a pretty good spot market-wise. And I want you guys to realize this image, meme, whatever, just for a little bit, right? So the moment that we're in right now, well, just quickly read it first and then we'll talk about it. So number one, damn, I wish I bought. That's when things are going up and up and up. Every single day is looking green. You're like, damn, I wish I bought earlier. We can relate that to XRP in a second. Then as things crash, 10% or maybe even 40%, I was right not to buy. Screw buying this stuff, because you're like, see, it's going to zero. And then 3 is, damn, because it's all of a sudden back at the top. 90% of people who trade crypto, who hold crypto, who are believers in crypto still have this. And if you, I'm going to say less than 5% of the people can, whenever things are going up, think, wow, I'm happy with my bags. Most people are like, I should have bought more. And when things start going down, they're like, oh, I should have sold, or oh, I'm happy I didn't buy more. Most people are like this. And you know what the funniest thing is? When you look at it like this, the only thing you should just do is what I exactly describe on my trading videos, which is literally just buy your way down. If you just always buy your way down in bull markets, you end up being extremely fine with a ton of profit to show for it. Again, it might take a little bit of time on the short term, or I should say it might take a little bit of time before you look profitable, but overall, it has historically speaking always been worth it. Psychologically, I get that it sometimes can be hard, but generally speaking, even if you just are seeing prices go up like crazy and you just buy in regardless, in the worst case, you're going to have to buy your way down back into an area where you feel slightly uncomfortable. And that's literally, though, where the most money can be made as you're getting more and more confident as things go down. It's hard, but that's literally the best thing I can tell you. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about the XRP ETFs, when they're going to be coming along. And the thing is, some have been filed for, and I would say they're coming, but it's not one of the first things I'm going to be waiting for. For example, BlackRock has just stated that they're really busy with their Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. They're looking for new inflows into Ethereum, and we always describe this sheet: Bitcoin first, Ethereum afterwards, and then the other altcoins. And when it comes to the ETFs, I kind of expect the same thing. Quote, "We're really just at the tip of the iceberg with Bitcoin and especially Ethereum. Just a tiny fraction of our clients own IBIT and Ethereum, the ETF. So that's what we're focused on right now versus launching new altcoin ETFs. And it also makes sense. If you all of a sudden give them 1,000 different options, it's overwhelming, especially if they're not really believers in crypto from the start. So if you've already got a couple of products and they're both record breaking, stick to making those real record breakers. And then once they are really excited for Bitcoin and Ethereum and they want to go for more options, for maybe better options, then you feed them the rest, which is also just how a altcoin season works. And I guess it works the same for BlackRock, etc. So here it said, notably, Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, and WisdomTree all already filed their XRP ETFs. And XRP is the first properly regulated crypto in the US, with expectations of approval by the end of 2025. The thing is, you don't really need BlackRock, and BlackRock is also one of those parties that doesn't like to be left out. But on the contrary, so an XRP ETF is happening, just not in the way we might have wanted to see it. But is that really bad, or is it just a matter of patience and the right timing? I always believe that BlackRock knows very well what they're doing to maximize the amount of money they can make. And since they'll make money from people trading the ETF, they're going to want to launch it at one of the most optimal times. And I would say that XRP's recent crazy performance, to some it might be scary, but to most, it's a matter of, hey, this coin was actually traded more than Ethereum on many different days in a row. It's actually been relatively quite strong in the market for, what we'll call it, 10 years. It's a good contender for an ETF because it's not going to go away anytime soon. It remains relevancy for 12 years that has been alive for 13, I don't even know. And I think the fact that it pumped so much and was able to sustain those gains is right now it's still so extremely high. It's not falling back down to like 40 cents or whatever. It's a big push. It's a very big push. Anyway, to continue with the altcoin story, Shiba Inu still has not recovered from the dip that it's been making this week. So that is not so nice to see. But long story short, that is, we want to see Shiba Inu just make this recovery, which I do believe it's still going to do over a very short amount of time. Ultimately here, what it just did is a retest of the trend line, with again the possibility of seeing the 3,100 Satoshi level, which is about a 10%, 50% increase rather soon here. I don't think it's going to take too long. But we stated before, the Cardano is still on its journey towards changing the trend. Really, when you start looking at Cardano, yes, it has some sort of breakout that it's been having, but we have yet to take out some of these previous tops. And I think only once we start breaking the previous tops for Cardano can I really start saying, oh yeah, see, this is where ADA goes crazy or gets to normal valuation type of areas. Right now, it's still very much undervalued. One of the only ones that's in a not necessarily undervalued stage is SUI, as right now it has started an uptrend for the first time, well, basically ever, of breaking the previous heights. Yes, it broke heights here back in 2024 earlier, but I don't really have any history for SUI here. That goes on more out. Having said that, if you're looking to trade, the links are down below to the exchanges that I'm using right now. You can get some juicy bonuses. My recording just got corrupted, but I'll say it all again. SUI is on a good path, right? We've seen that. Looking beautiful versus Bitcoin versus the dollar. Just everything is looking really good. HBAR, I've shown you for the last couple of times, is one of the coins that right now has been rebalancing, but is one of the only ones that's actually not that undervalued, especially if you start comparing it to coins like, for example, Cardano here, which again, haven't really even started an uptrend. Yes, you can see that Cardano has been pacing nicely over the past few weeks here, but we need to take out these previous levels, for example, about 1,500 Satoshi or so, before the trend really switches from mostly being downwards to now hopefully being upward. But it could be even worse because coins like Solana on the short term are actually breaking out towards the downside. And it's actually quite interesting that Solana is one of the only ones to do that versus Bitcoin right now. As Bitcoin is inching towards 103,000, Solana, Bitcoin-wise, is doing very bad. And perhaps as Ethereum picks up the pace here, coins like Solana will also improve its performance. But right now, it's quite scary to see Sol do this, especially since the altcoin market is actually looking quite good. I mean, we're still seeing some convergence here. We're still waiting for the next big breakout on the altcoin market caps, which could again be as early as today. As Bitcoin sets a new height, it could very well be that this is the moment where we start going crazy on the alts as well again, because it usually happens a little bit after Bitcoin goes for a crazy pace. On the short term, Cardano is starting to form an uptrend. Right now, we've got ourselves a barrier at roughly the $1.15 mark or so. With XRP, I think it becomes quite apparent for anybody that today could also be one of the days, this is the 4-hour chart, where again, the next leg up can be made, depending on how things are going to look over the next few hours, or maybe, yeah, I'm going to say hours. It really always going to depend on Bitcoin tonight, though, because if it sets the highest moment ever, which right now is like $1,500 above where it needs to be, so very likely that it will. But again, we've got some time, we've got some time. Once Bitcoin sets an all-time high here, which could happen as early as today, it could be a very, very quick move for all the alts, which again are inching towards the upside anyway. XRP has been converging for a long time. We can see it's basing around the $2, maybe 35 or so mark. But again, I believe for XRP, the whole breakout here, it's starting, but it's really not done too much. As Bitcoin sets its course towards the upside right now, it's been converging for a while. I've talked about that. With a target, one of my initial targets being about 120,000, many alts will still see some crazy, crazy moves on quite the short term. And again, the breakout has barely just started for most of these coins. We really have yet to see the craziest of moves. And you can see that easily when you start comparing the altcoin versus Bitcoin chart. This is Stellar XLM versus Bitcoin. So if you're wondering, just watch Bitcoin's daily price. Just literally today, focus on nothing else. You don't have to worry about all the events of the next week. You don't have to worry about all the macroeconomic effects. You don't have to worry about Trump or ETFs, nothing. I mean, perhaps ETF if it shows some crazy inflows, but yeah, you'll just find out tomorrow anyway. It's all about tonight. It's all about whatever that number is going to say, because think about it. Even though it's not the all-time high, it is the highest close we could ever get to. And that sets a really amazing precedent. Because right now the market's actually not really green. Funny enough, you might think so. It's really not. But the moment that Bitcoin sets this crazy level, it could be that alts go right after that. And that is what we're thinking of here. That's what we're waiting of here. And you guys already know my longer term vision. I'm way too excited, way too excited. And I'm just ready for another move to be made here. It really has been a little bit of time since we saw a massive move, but since Bitcoin right now, let me just quickly show you here over on a daily chart, is actually in record-breaking territory. Let's quickly zoom in a little bit. If we can here real quick. Today, it could definitely mark the day where Bitcoin sees the highest close ever. Most likely we'll see it. I mean, yesterday officially was already the highest Bitcoin closing day ever, but it's not the swing high. It's not really what we wanted to see in comparison to what we could be seeing right here. Fun little fact, if you just kept on buying every single time we bounced off of the trend line, which we talked about before, could have made some juicy money just on Bitcoin on its own, by the way. If you want to trade crypto, by the way, I've left a couple of links in the description down below. Here's, for example, a link to 𝗲𝘀 or to 𝗬𝗔𝘀. On both these platforms, you could trade, I think, without the VPN, but you might, maybe, depending on which country you're in, I wanted to say it's without KYC, and you can get some juicy bonuses for signing up, so make sure you check them out. And right now, as it currently stands, the trades are still doing quite amazing. I still want to see an XRP breakout of sorts, though, as it's been a while since it happened. I know we've got a couple of very restrictive points here, especially the $2.50 psychological barrier, but man, it's time for XRP to make some new move again. It is really time. It's been too long, huh? Even though it's really not been that long. I'm just excited. Here again is XRP preparing itself for yet another breakout. I'm gonna be watching it. Let's just put it like that. I'm gonna be watching it. There's actually a couple internal triangles you can also make out of this, but generally speaking, this has been the trend. With a lot of indecisiveness in the middle, you can see that we really have yet to do anything for a while. Ever since the impulse at the start of the month going up, it's mostly just been going up and down, but converging towards, I'm gonna say about the $2.30 or so, slightly, yeah, I'm gonna say about $2.30 or so mark, or perhaps around the $2.40 mark. You can see around the line that it's been going on, right? At some point we gotta break out, and it might be very, very large here as Bitcoin sets a new all-time high. Perhaps right now, but perhaps just the daily all-time high. You know what I mean? Then from there, perhaps Ethereum has another leg up. Maybe it finally beats 4,000. It doesn't even have to, though, for coins like XRP to shine because they've done it without Ethereum before. But it would just be nice if everything comes together at this. And today is a very, very interesting day to watch, especially with so many good things up on the horizon. But that's about it for this video. Hopefully you put the notification on so whenever something crazy happens, you're notified. And that's about it.